Very strange morning. I went for my workout. I worked out, I came back, I almost hit down a little girl in the street. Next thing I know, she has bags and she doesn't know where she's going. She doesn't know she was left by her family, and I'm now taking her to the precinct. And I am just so confused as to how people can just leave their children on the street with garbage bags, and I'm mind blown. I mean, I am like in total shock. It's like God sent me and put me here because I normally do not work out in the.
Okay, calm down there, champ. Deal is that I talk about this a lot on the channel, where a lot of the people who have been made, who are being made, aren't made for the right reasons, and thusly you end up with situations like this. It's coming to us from the Daily News. How does this happen? Queens woman after finding abandoned girl 6 at busy Laurelton intersection. This is written by Thomas Tracy and Rocco. Whatever, man. I'm not even trying all that nonsense. At a busy Queens intersection, Mishka Pert saw the six-year-old girl with a surgical mask on her face, a white garbage bag in one hand, and a black reusable bag in the other. The girl, who gave her name as Emma, was abandoned by her mother and her mother's boyfriend, say police. Oh, Christ, guys, come on, seriously. How does this happen? Pert said on Tuesday. How is it that this woman has a daughter and leaves her like that? Because she like, that's the thing, particularly about babies. Everybody loves the concept of babies, right? But that's for about like 3-4 months, and then like, they start to be a pain in the behind. So thusly, they end up like as soon, like, okay, maybe 3-4 months is a little bit on the embellishing side, but they didn't particularly care. They didn't fully think through having the kid. They just knew having the child would get them a little bit of attention, get them some, be advantageous for them for a while until the child no longer was. And it seems as if once this mother had gotten a new boyfriend, the child was no longer advantageous. Emma's mother, Patrice Chambers, and Chambers' boyfriend, Mark Pamphlet, 28, residents of Central Islip in Suffolk County, were arrested and charged with child endangerment, as they should have been. Pert, 30, encountered Emma on Monday morning as she turned onto 140th Street from Springfield Boulevard in Laurelton. Springfield Boulevard is a 4-lane road at that intersection, busy enough to be guarded by a traffic light, not a place for a wandering 6-year-old girl. The bags in the girl's hands held her clothes, and she dropped them as she scurried across the intersection. Is that Pert? Oh, okay. I mean, you could get rid of that weave, but not too terrible looking. Not bad. Oh, and there's a filter on this too. Okay, yeah, so it's a lot rougher than. But good on Daily News for probably using the best shot of her that they could get. But yeah, not too terrible. She works out. She works out. All right. Pert stopped her car and motioned for the child to get her clothes. Then she ran to the sidewalk and she kept looking at me, she said. I asked her where she was going. She said, I don't know. I said, where are your parents? I don't know, the girl answered. They drove off and left me. The little girl got into Pert's car. Pert drove her to nearby Montebello Park, where she found a pair of school safety agents and told them what happened. The safety agents summoned officers to 105th Precinct and gave the police investigation, and the police investigation began. Police said Chambers and Pamphlet kicked Emma out of their car in Laurelton at about 11:30 a.m., and they have video to prove it. Later that day, Emma's dad, Kermit Watson, 52, heard the police bang on the door of his apartment near where Emma was dropped off. Officers had questions about Emma and an accusation made by Chambers that she had shown up with Emma earlier in the morning and that Watson had turned them away. Are you crazy? That never happened. In fact, he said, Pamphlet had texted him to say he and Chambers were coming by with Emma, but no one ever showed up. And Watson said doorbell video from his landlord viewed by police backed up his account. Watson said he's barely seen Emma since he and Chambers broke up about 4 years ago. Chambers recalled recently and asked him to take Emma because Suffolk County child welfare authorities were harassing her, Watson said. Watson said he jumped at the chance to have Emma live with him, even though Chambers refused his request to have his name listed on her birth certificate. Pamphlet he said, had taken control of Chambers' life, fathering a child with her and looking to distance her from Emma and an older daughter, 11, who now lives with her own dad. He doesn't want nobody around, Watson said of Pamphlet. She doesn't have a say. Well, I mean, she's a kid. She really shouldn't have a say. But ultimately, I mean, my goodness. Like I said, people are making people with no real rhyme or reason. Just, oh, I like your dreads. It seems as if they were previously in a relationship, but like it's so infuriating that you'll allow 4 years to go by without a stronger connection or a stronger bond to your daughter. But once again, you got to look at the moms and like, yo, like, I mean, if dealing with the mother was so bad that you like, didn't even fight for your daughter or didn't, I don't want to say he didn't fight, but you weren't like, just like more involved by hook or crook. Jesus Christ, ladies, what are you doing in the game? Pamphlet explained himself to police, according to a statement to them made public Tuesday in Queens Criminal Court. These kids are a problem to me. This kid is her kid. This kid is not my kid. Not my problem. Not my responsibility. I agree, but you started dealing with the mom. So if it they like it or not, single mothers are a package deal. Okay, guys? I mean, as much as we like to sit there and be like, oh, say no to single mothers and everything else like that, and I 100% wholeheartedly agree, if you do not want to deal with another man's child, don't date single mothers. But if you do decide to date single mothers, you can't sit there and treat the kid like shit. Okay? You can't sit there and be like, oh, well, it's not my kid. It's not my problem, not my responsibility, because you're the one, you're assuming responsibility of that woman. So thusly, you assume some level of responsibility for those for those that came from her. If you, like I said, if you don't like single mothers, don't date them. Okay, but leave the kids alone. Leave the kids out of it. So that seems to be the end of the article. We could end it up on Miss Pert here. Oh no, where's she at? There she is. Can we zoom that? There we go. Okay, that's the good. There she is. Okay, she's looking alright. We know that's a filter. We know that's a lot of weave, but she looking alright. So guys, with that being said, all the internet stuff. If you like to toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Share because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am in like it's like how do we put this genie back in the bottle? That's my question. How do we put the genie back in the bottle when it comes to um the incentives in having a baby but not being willing to raise a child? I can't call it. I really can't, because we have this little thing called free will. People do as they so desire. So it really is infuriating in a lot of ways, and it's a big part of the reason why I always encourage guys to find their own purpose, particularly if you're of such a situation with going through the single parent thing. Like, young man, find your own purpose outside of a woman, outside of relationships and kids and all this other stuff. Find your reason for being. I couldn't suggest that strongly enough. All right. But stop making kids with women that really only want to use them for their own gains, and then turn around and shoot, like, leave them in the middle of the street because the new dude that she's messing with is it doesn't want anything to do with them. My God, what a world we live in, huh? But you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.